for injury purposes, because if you can see the basket stanchion underneath the run, Detroit used to screen you out of bounds, and guys were running each other into the basket and everything, and they changed that rule to protect guys and not allow that to happen.
Now Clyde Drexler, Doug, has a chance to put this one away. It is a 4-point advantage, 17.6 left, making a 5-point lead. Dallas is going to call a timeout. They'll need a quick 3 or a 2 right now, and then another one to just get even. 98-93, Quinn Buckner thought he had this one. Still time left, but it's going to be difficult. Ernie?
Ron, let's talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte very tough at home, 7-2, and riding a 2-game winning streak into Hive Drive tonight as the Timberwolves came to town. J.R. Ryder, been hot lately, averaging about 26 points a game, has the rook. Here's Christian Laettner for a couple, breaking a 53-53 tie. Minnesota with the lead. Muggsy Bogues back in the lineup for Charlotte. Up top for LJ. 60-55. Put him down, LJ. Fourth period, Del Curry. He had 6 threes on the night, 5 in a row at one stretch. He had 26 points on the night, 14 in the fourth, and rough stuff late. Chuck Person, a little shove on Tony Bennett, and Alonzo Mourning rides into the rescue. Those guys mix it up, and then they both go to the showers. Ejections for the Rifleman and for Alonzo Mourning. And another win for the Hornets, 101-85. LJ had 23. Hornets have won 3 straight. Now, back to Reunion.
There is our score, 98-93, 17.6. Derek Harper has given it his all tonight. 5 3-pointers, 21 for the ball game. But unless a miracle is pulled out here at Reunion, the Mavericks will go down to their 16th consecutive loss, 0-11 at home. And it doesn't get any easier for the men in white. San Antonio Thursday, then Doug, they take to the road.
Yeah, at New York, excuse me, at Houston, at New York, both teams that give up about 90 points a ball game. Then at Milwaukee, at Minnesota. Like you said, and I said earlier, I felt this game was so important, much more important for Dallas at this stage of the season than Portland. We know Portland is capable, and we know that they're a very good team. But for Dallas, when you're wanting that excitement of winning as a coach and as a player, so your team can feel that once again, and this is going to be a heartbreaking loss for them if they can't pull out a miracle here in the next 17 seconds.
There is Norm Sanju, the president, general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, trying to rebuild this once very proud franchise. They still have their pride, they just don't have the players. Ashburn loses the handle, and that'll be it. Clyde Drexler with Sean Rooks. Drexler with the finger roll, 25 points now for Clyde Drexler. And the Dallas Mavericks will go down to yet another defeat, but the effort was there by these young guys. And I tell you what, our hat is off to Quinn Buckner as Mashburn can't get it to go. And all these players, because they gave it everything they had tonight, took the Blazers to overtime, only to come up short, 100-93, and Quinn Buckner just has to step aside. Congratulate Rick Adelman from the far side. And wonder when the next win is going to come. 100-93, our final. The Mavericks lose it. They go to 1-19 on the year. Portland goes to 12-9. Clyde Drexler, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Big key free throws, 9 of 11 from the line. And our Budweiser player of the game is indeed Clyde Drexler in his 11th season out of Houston. Came up with the big free throws in the end. He sets the tone for this basketball team, and he did tonight as the Blazers win it 100-93. Derek Harper led the Mavericks with 21 points. Mashburn had 17. Robinson had 23 for Portland, 20 for Terry Porter. We've got a few minutes before Clyde Drexler comes and visits us, so let's go to Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta. Ernie?
All right, Ron, let's run down the scores one more time on an 8-game Tuesday night in the NBA.
93 our final. In overtime, the Portland Trail Blazers up their record of 12-9 on the year, 5-6 on the road as they win it. Game summary, Clyde Drexler, 25 points, 6 of those coming in overtime. Neither team shot exceptionally well. Derek Harper, big night, 5 of 9 from three-point land for 21 points, but it was not enough. And our Budweiser player of the game, Clyde Drexler of the Portland Trail Blazers. And first of all, Clyde, it has been a difficult year for the Portland Trail Blazers this year. You're struggling, but is everybody still keeping on the same wavelength and realizing it's still 82 games, long way to go?
Most definitely. I think we're very optimistic about what we can do this season. I think we've been very inconsistent as a team, and our record shows it. But whenever you got key people playing key minutes, I think you're going to have an adjustment period, and we're certainly having one right now.
You know, Clyde, when I watched the team warm up a little bit, I'm so used to this high-energy Portland Trailblazer team, and I sensed sort of a more workmanlike sort of, you guys were warming up, and I was wondering whether you guys were ready to play this game tonight. Did you feel like that you guys were ready to play tonight?
I felt like you felt, Doug. I thought we should have been a little bit more enthusiastic about playing tonight. We're used to playing in front of sellout crowds at home, and then when you come on the road and there's maybe a few people in sporadic positions, sometimes that can make a difference. But I think for the most part, we did what we had to do tonight.
Well, you know what, we showed during the course of the game the goals of really the Portland team this year, and we talked about what you'd like to hold your opponents to and what you guys would like to shoot. And a lot of questions about the Portland defense right now, but this is not the same defensive team that would get the 4 or 5 stops and score and choke you off at the end of the games, but yet you're still the strong rebounding team. Do you sense a little drop-off in your defense?
I think so, because we have, like I said, we've been up and down on the defensive end all season long, and that's the reason why we struggled. At some point in time, we've got to get to the point where we feel like we can make 4 or 5 stops in a row, because that could mean the difference when you play the good teams. And until we get to that level, we're going to be up and down.
You know, because, you guys have always been a team never to really shoot a high percentage, high energy, rebound, force turnovers, get out and make the plays and win games. Never really been a pretty team to finish games, but you've always been very effective.
I like to think we've been pretty.
Well, you're pretty, Clyde.
No, I think for the most part, you're right. I think our game is meat and potatoes. We know what we have to do. We get at people on the defensive end. We create turnovers, and we kind of force the pace of the game. And most recently, we've been trying to get back to that style of play, but it's tough when you don't have the people to help you in the front line. I think we've had some injuries there. We're just starting to get some solidity in terms of the people who are going to play in those positions, and it takes time to blend.
Well, it's a long season, and Clyde, 25.7 rebounds, 6 assists tonight. Thanks for being with us, and we'd like to take a second. We heard Ernie Johnson talk. Doug, both you and I would like to pass out our prayers and our best to Bobby Hurley, a friend of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobby, we hope you're watching tonight, and we love you, and just we wish you a speedy recovery.
All right. Best of luck to Bobby Hurley and to Clyde Drexler. Once again, the Portland Trailblazers win it in overtime. The final again, 100-93. Be sure to stay with TNT. NBA action continues your way Friday night. We have a doubleheader coming your way. The Knicks and the Bulls in Game 1 are
Youngstown State and Marshall in the Division I AA championship game. In 1991, Marshall led by 11 in the 4th quarter, only to watch the title slip away. Youngstown State scored 19 points in the final stanza and survived a last-second Marshall scoring chance to win the national championship. But that was only